Hello friends, this is Dr. Sudhanshu Sharma, and today's session is the fifth session for formulas and function. And in today's session we will be discussing about the text and formatting functions, and along with that we will be talking about the date and time functions. Both of the functions are quite important because in Excel many times you need to perform text and formatting functions because the data you need to analyze, you need to format the data for proper handling. Apart from this, many times you need to work with date and time functions. When you are filling up a form, it is very much frequently asked that what is your present age at this point of time. Then you need to work out excessively, but Excel will help you out, and we will understand how date and time functions can be used to work out your age and perform other activities, and the different formulas will be discussed in this session. So the objective of today's session is that after completing this session you will be able to understand various text and formatting functions available in MS Excel. Apart from this, you will be able to understand the date and time functions available in MS Excel. Now so far as text and formatting functions are concerned, the text and formatting functions are actually required for string handling in data sets. Many times you need to merge the name. Say you are filling up a form, and over there it is asked that you are supposed to fill up your first name, middle name and last name. So in all, your name is actually the composition of three names, three parts of your name, that is first name, middle name and the last name. So if somebody asks you then that what is your name, then you automatically recites your first, middle and last name, that is you concatenate these three strings. So in terms of handling this type of text data, you need to work out with the concatenate formula, and there are different formulas and functions which are used for text and formatting, and we will be discussing about the frequently used functions. One is left and right. Secondly, we will be discussing about the concatenate. Thirdly, we will be discussing about lower and upper, and lastly we will be discussing about the length function. Now there are many more functions, but these are the functions are frequently used and are very much discussed and covered in your course also. So what is in fact left and right functions? Left and right are in fact two formulas, and they require two input arguments, namely the text and the num characters, for returning the specified number of characters from the beginning or from the last or of defined string in the formula as an argument. Now say the starting character of a string is there. Say I am having an input string whose value is small town, and I put a formula. Say this string is positioned at location A2 in the worksheet, and I use the formula equal to left. In the parentheses I passed on the two arguments, that is the position of the string which is to be on with the formula is to be applied, and that position is A2. And if I pass the number of characters up to which I want the left data, that means say 5, then the return value will be small, and SMALL, they are 5 characters. If I pass on the value 4, then SMAL will be returned. Apart from this, if I say pass on the value as a formula as equal to right, and position the value A2 and pass on the value 4, then it will return last 4 characters, that is 4 characters from the rightmost of the string. That means the town section will be returned from the formula. Many times you forgot to pass on the number of characters, and in that situation the starting character is returned. Likewise, if I pass on the formula say left and the value the reference of the cell where the text is present, say A4 is there, then only S will be returned, because I didn't mention that how many number of characters I want in the return. So only one character will be returned, that is the beginning character. And if I write equal to right and A5, then only the last character, that is the rightmost character in the string, will be returned. So I hope these two formulas are quite clear to you. Now next important formula is concatenate. Concatenate is as I already discussed, is very useful formula when you need to merge more than one string and you need to create a consolidated string. Likewise, if I am having two strings, say string 1 is say good and string 2 is morning, and directly use concatenate string 1 and string 2 are passed, that is the address of these two strings are passed. Precisely I can say, if I write the formula in the third cell, that equal to concatenate A2 and B2, then the concatenated version, that is good morning, will be passed. But if in the string 2 intentionally a space is marked before morning, because if the space mark is not given, then after D only the M will appear, and it will appear to be a continuous text good morning without having any space. So in string 2 intentionally a space is given, where as a result of which we are seeing that good space morning. So the same thing is mentioned if I say pass on string 1 as for and in string 2 as give, and I didn't use the space in string 2, then by using these two strings in the concatenate formula, the final word which appears will be forgive, or I can get forget also if I pass on get as a second string. So concatenate is again an important formula for string handling. Then lower and upper functions are actually two functions that changes the text into uppercase or into the lowercase. The requirement is quite simple and the formulas are also quite simple. If I pass on a string in the lower case, say I pass on a string forget, and in the upper case I pass on a formula equal to upper and the reference of the string where the lowercase string is mentioned, as in this case it is at position A2, then I am writing a formula equal to upper A2, then the string will be transformed into the uppercase. Similarly, if I take a string in the uppercase and write the formula equal to lower and pass on the address of the cell where the uppercase string is positioned, likewise over here it is at A5, then automatically the uppercase string will be resolved into the lowercase. Subsequently, length is another important function. len is a function, in fact, which is used to find the number of characters present in any string. So if I use say good and say that if this string is saved at some position in the worksheet, and in the subsequent cell I write a formula equal to len and I pass on the address of that cell, then automatically the result will be 4, because GOOD 4 characters are there into this string. So length will actually helps you to identify the length of the string. Now you might be having a question in your mind that where we can use this function. Then many a times you need to program. Likewise in Excel we do programming also, that is a VBA programming, and in that part you are supposed to say specifically position a particular text. You want to do text mining, you want to go for text finding in a particular worksheet, then you need to devise your own codes, and where in which you can use these functions and formulas to develop your strings. So you can also go into the programming code by pressing Alt and F11 key, and at that point of time you will be reaching into the developer module, and when you reach into the developer module you can develop your own functions and formulas and you can call that, but that is out of the scope of this session. But this is just to brief you out that what is the utility of such type of text functions, or other functions also can also be used when we are going to program our own functions. Now date and time functions are also very important when we are performing our day-to-day activities, and they are very frequently and commonly used date and time functions. Likewise we are having date, day, today, now, and many a time we are asked that what is your age in years, months and days. At that point of time, it seems very cumbersome that how to find that what is my age as on date today, say what is my age in terms of years, months and days. So in order to handle such type of questions, Excel can help you out by using the formula dated if. We will be discussing about the dated if formula also in this session. So let's start our date and time functions with the date function. Likewise, say I record the data in an Excel sheet with the entries say years, months and day. Say I pass on, store the values 1974, month is say 6 and day is say 16, and I use the function say equal to date and I pass on these arguments, that is the year, month and day. Then automatically the date will be consolidated in the format and it will be reflected as 16 June 1974. Now I don't know what is the date today, so I can simply write equal to today and within the parenthesis and just open and close the parenthesis. Then this function will actually interact with the system's date and will return you the current date, that is the today's date. Now you want to know what is your present age, so in terms of years, so you need to subtract the two dates and divide it by 365, and what will happen, it will return you a fractional value, as in this case it is reflected as 46.79. Now 0.79 means that you are already 46 years and some of the months and days are already passed in the 47th of the year. So if you want your age specifically in the integer format, then you can use the formula equal to int and pass on the values which you got, that is 46.79, and you will get the exact age in the years, that is 46. So in order to get your age, what you had done, you had passed on your date of birth and to the formula, which is your today's date, that is minus the date of birth divided by 365, and subsequently you use the int function to transform the real value into the integer value. Now you are having another function. Likewise, you can use dated if. Now in a dated if function, you are supposed to pass on three arguments. Likewise, over here you are supposed to pass on your date of birth and comma your today function. That means you can call one function in another function. So here we are calling the today function in the dated if function, so that the same formula, that is today's date minus the date of birth, is performed and it is divided by 365. These two arguments will be performing these two operations. Now you want the return value in terms of years only, so within the double quotes you are supposed to pass the value y. So what will happen, it will perform the earlier discussed functions, that is today's date minus date of birth divided by 365, and the return value will be passed on into the integer function, as a result of which the output of this is actually reflected in dated if function and it turns out to be 46. Now if you want to map, find out that earlier we had a return value 46.79 or something. So what does 79 means, that how many months had already passed or how many days had already passed. Then you need to pass on the formula in the manner equal to dated if. You are supposed to firstly pass on the value, that is your date of birth. Subsequently, second parameter should be your today's part, that is the today's date, so today function will be passed. And now the last parameter should be in the quotes ym. By passing on ym, only the months are reflected and you will be finding that value 9 will be returned. Thereafter, if you want how many days are passed on, say on the same pattern, you are supposed to write the formula dated if. You are supposed to pass on the date of birth. second today's date, and now we are supposed to pass on the third argument, that is MD, that is month and day. Within that month, how many days are already passed on. So this will return you the value 5. So I hope by going through these functions, that is we had discussed date function, we had discussed the utility of the today function, we had explicitly worked out that how what is the logic behind the dated if function by working out the core structure of the formula, where we had written the actual function as equal to date of birth minus your today's date divided by 365. So it returned us a fractional value which is our today's age, that is in years and months and days. So thereafter I use the integer function also to actually get the integer value. Subsequently, this logic is actually implemented in the dated if function, and the dated if function is also discussed to drag out all the 3 parameters, that is the years, age in years, age in months, and age in days. So the actual structure will remain the same, that is equal to dated if. The first parameter will always remain same, that is your date of birth. Second parameter will always be today's date, and that will be calculated by passing on the today's function as an argument into the dated if function. And thereafter, if you put in the double quotes y, then years are reflected. If you pass on the double quotes as third argument ym, then within the last year how many months had already passed on, those many months are reflected in the months part. And subsequently, if you pass on as a third argument MD, then in that month how many days are already passed, that will be reflected. So we had discussed these important parameters, and I hope you will be able to experiment these functions and parameters in your Excel sheet. And if you face any problem, you can directly see into the formulas given into the sheets, and this will help you out to work for date and time functions and other functions which we had discussed in all the past sessions. Thank you very much.